Hello and welcome. We're a bit later than usual. Somebody got me going down a rabbit hole today again, as fucking always.
that was my fault.
How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully it's going good. Today we got something different. So Dan and I decided, speaking of rabbit holes, we went down some rabbit holes. We were going to go through some of wrestling's worst matches. We only got through like 8 of them before it was too painful.
Yeah, it was.
But we're going to get through a
really
lot more
painful.
over time. We're going to get through a lot more over time. In fact, I'm going to grab this so I can tell you about the rest of them coming up at some point. Because you don't know the rest of them coming up other than the Rosie one coming up.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, we're going through a series of some of the worst matches, and we watch them ahead of time, and we'll give you guys the rundown of some of the absolute worst matches of all time. And it got progressively worse.
Yeah, they really did.
The first one we did, I guess we'll just get right into it. The first one we did was like, literally it destroyed an entire brand forevermore, and we'll never be able, they never recovered from it.
Yeah, so he's talking about the Extreme Elimination Chamber at December to Dismember 2006. And it single-handedly killed the ECW brand in WWE.
Yeah.
Like, just so bad. I'm going to pull out my notes for this, too. But
The main thing I noticed is that they have an Extreme Elimination Chamber match, and it featured Hardcore Holly and Test and Big Show in it,
and Bobby Lashley.
and a rookie Bobby Lashley.
For ECW, it didn't have a lot. It had one ECW original.
It was advertised to have 2.
Yes, Sabu was in the hype package, but he didn't appear in the match.
It was a 5-minute long hype package, and Sabu was all over it, and then they cut to the match screen. Oh, Sabu was injured. He can't compete tonight. He's replaced by Hardcore Holly, who was not in any of the hype packages.
Oh my god.
Do you remember who starts off the match inside the in the ring?
I'm trying to think.
Wasn't it RVD and Hardcore Holly?
I believe it was RV. Yeah, I think it was RVD and Hardcore Holly, which
Hardcore Holly starts the match with Rob Van Dam.
RVD's fine.
Yeah.
Hardcore Holly, not so much.
Well, he's an all-timer. He'll probably go to the Hall of Fame one day.
I hope not.
He probably will.
I really hope not.
And then
First,
Punk comes out 3. What do you have?
well, I have a few notes from before even the match starts.
Oh, God, here we go.
Because first you have the incredibly long hype package,
It's true.
which, as you said, it goes about 5 minutes, which is long for a hype package. And then you first get a Paul Heyman promo, which
Okay.
he comes out and he's flanked by these 2 security guards who you would tell me were played by the Basham brothers.
Yep. Doug and Denny Basham.
Interesting, but all right, whatever. He just this is utter time wasting bullshit here from Paul Heyman.
He shits on ECW.
He shits on the ECW originals, basically saying that the original ECW is dead and it's never to return, and then says nothing else of note. He just kind of goes on, and it doesn't really he doesn't really say anything else that means anything. Then you get 15 minutes of entrances, because we got 6 entrances to go through.
And they have to kill time because the pay-per-view's
And
running
my
short.
first thought was, and Big Show, I believe, is one of the first ones to come out, isn't he?
He's one of the first ones to come out, and he sits in one of the pods.
Yeah, and my first thought was, these guys need to get in the fucking pod already. Because they take forever and a day just standing in the ring, walking around the ring, walking around the outside, looking at the pod, touching the pod, getting in the pod, making a few gestures, and then finally the next entrance starts.
And then it's Test.
And my first thought is, why is Test here?
Yeah, I don't...
He's not he didn't have really anything to do with ECW.
He didn't have any feuds, I don't think, going into it.
No, his only feud would be after this. He would briefly feud with Bobby Lashley, and would get one pay-per-view match against Lashley.
Oh God.
Which Lashley won in very quick fashion.
Shocking.
And then Test was gone from the company within months.
Yeah, and then he was like what, dead in the next year?
2 years, I believe.
Yeah, because he had like he was fired for having like a major coke problem.
Then Hardcore Holly comes out, and my first thought is, why the fuck is he here?
Not only that, he eliminates one of the first people.
He eliminates
RVD.
He eliminates RVD after RVD eliminated CM Punk. The two guys in the match that you want to win are CM Punk and RVD.
And they booked RVD to beat Punk.
And I don't understand this. The booking of this match is just weird. Also, speaking of Hardcore Holly, did he get eliminated or did he just leave? Because they don't count the three. He gets pinned by, I forget who now, by Test.
I believe it was Test.
I believe it was, I think it was Test.
It was a big boot, I think, by Test, and then
RVD.
They didn't count a three.
Not RVD. Hardcore Holly gets pinned, but the referee doesn't count the three.
He stops at 2, and then
they don't say anything. They don't. The commentators don't really mention that he's eliminated. He just kind of
until like 2 minutes later. Oh, I believe Hardcore Holly's been eliminated.
He just kind of leaves. After a 2 count pin, he just kind of leaves.
And not only that, Dan, they clear the ring several times, so Test is waiting there for like 2 whole minutes in this match.
Yeah, because what they also screwed up on was that they had the clock in between, so they were saying it had to be 5 minutes in between each entrant. No, whatever, that's usually the standard rule, but
they gave the crowd the clock, so they had to commit to it.
They had to commit to it. They couldn't do like what they do with the Rumble, which is just kind of go off of what's happening in the ring and kind of call an audible. They can't do that because the clock's right there. So they have to do the 5 minutes.
I have a feeling the Hardcore Holly got hurt and they had to like call an audible, but they couldn't just call an audible. So they're like, well, I guess he's just standing there now. I have a feeling it was supposed to be Test versus Hardcore Holly until Lashley came out. would have been that.
And then Lashley probably eliminates both of them. That was probably what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, he was supposed to like probably spear them both and take him out, and then Lashley would have had to wait anyway because Lashley also waited for Big Show.
Yeah, and the first thing I noticed about Big Show is he's way past his prime. He can barely move. He's well over 500 pounds at this point.
Yep.
He's in the worst shape he's ever been in.
Yep.
Because he's in better shape now. Way better shape now. But he can barely move, let alone wrestle. Bobby Lashley bumps around the ring for him like a jumping bean. And and then the match just sort of ends abruptly. Like Lashley just sort of
and before that they killed more time by locking Lashley in the pod.
Yeah, they locked Lashley in the pod.
They tried to hold him in the pod.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lashley's bending the glass, no problem. He could just pop it out.
He's bending the glass, no problem, but how he actually gets out is he
climbs to the top of it.
Yeah, he breaks open the top, which is made of chain. He breaks it open and climbs out. Which he's gassed after this. He's exhausted.
Yeah, he's tired.
Because he just climbed out of the fucking pod.
This 270-pound built-ass man had to climb out of a pod, basically deadlifting his own weight to get out of the pod. Instead of just having him break the pod.
And then he wins with one of the most anticlimactic spears I've ever seen.
To a crowd that was dead.
Yeah, because
the crowd didn't give a fuck.
The final two was Lashley and Big Show, which were both hardcore WWE guys at an ECW show that still had ECW fans at this point.
And Big Show walked in as champion because RVD smoked weed once, and that was all they took to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
Big Show walked in as champion. I always forgot about that until he walked out. Like, damn, it looked like a trinket and little toy on him too.
It did. It looked like kind of like one of those like little toy belts you can get. It was so small on him because this man was the biggest he's ever been.
Yeah, this is like before they forced him to go to weight camp.
It's the biggest Big Show's ever been, and it was horrible to see, to be honest.
And apparently they were supposed to have guys like Kurt Angle probably involved too, and then they just didn't keep him. And because they keep...
Well, no, because he had drug problems. He had perk problems.
He has Perk Angle. Perk
Right,
Angle,
yeah.
the greatest Kurt Angle of all time is Perk Angle.
But they couldn't keep, but they didn't want to keep him because of his problems. But to me, it deserves to be on that worst match list. But at the same time, it was more watchable than most of the other matches we watched.
Yeah, it was definitely not the worst one we've seen, but we can see why people hate it. And like, we're probably just gonna go in order and in order. Like, this is our 7th worst one we've had so far.
Yeah.
Out of the 7 that we have officially on the list right now.
I think we have 9. We did 9.
No, we haven't done all of them. We didn't watch 2 of those.
Oh right, we didn't.
The Royal Rumble and the.
And the fake Trump.
We haven't seen that
Rosie.
one yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So far we have it at 7th worst because there's still 6 matches worse than this. But overall, what did you put it at?
Oh, because are you talking about rating?
Yeah. What was the rating we decided to do?
I believe we labeled it as a 2-star out of 5.
Which is fair because I think the beginning part is the only reason. Like, until CM Punk gets out, it was fine.
Until Punk's gone, it's watchable. The whole match is watchable. It's not like so bad I have to turn it off.
Which there's a couple that are.
Oh yeah, but it's not so awful that like I can't watch it.
And it's also one of the shortest chamber matches.
It is. It's pretty short for a chamber match. It's only like a little over 20 minutes.
It's the longest match on this list, but it's the shortest chamber match.
And it's considering the fact they actually went with the 5 minutes, so that's 20 minutes, and then just 2 minutes of nothing else.
Yeah, exactly.
They went 2 minutes after after Big Show came out. They had 2 minutes.
It was ridiculous.
Big Show worked for 2 minutes.
Also, we're doing this live so that I can download it and cut it later. So it doesn't matter if people are in here or not because you guys will be able to see it again later anyway. So it's totally fine. It's gonna be part of our YouTube thing too.
Yeah.